Hello everyone, it's me, Clayton. I just got back from seeing Good Boys, produced by Seth Rogen and Point Grey Pictures. Now, when it comes to the R-rated comedies of Seth Rogen, there's certainly a mixed bag for several people, but for me, I enjoy the majority of them. From Superbad to Neighbors to Sausage Party, I always find his films have its profane humor mixed with a lot of good, strong messages. And Good Boys is no exception, as even though it does indulge in a lot of profane humor, lots of swearing, drug use, and alcohol use, it does manage to have a really good lesson that I think kids and adults can appreciate. And easily the craziest little boy's adventure I've seen since Sarazanmai. But let's get to the story, shall we? The story is about three middle school kids, Max, Lucas, and Thor, who were invited to their very first party. They need to know how to kiss, so Max can kiss the girl of his dreams. So they use Max's father's drone to spy on their neighbors. When the drone gets taken by the people they're spying on, it sets off a series of events that involves the drone being destroyed, them having to go to the mall to get a new one, and them causing a whole bunch of freaking mayhem in the process of skipping school and, wreaking havoc. The plot is very much minimal for the sake of getting our characters into as many crazy scenarios as possible, but it does feel like an old 80s and 90s style crazy kids movie that just filled with a bunch of rated R jokes. And I found them very funny. At first, the joke seems to be, ha ha, the kids are doing this rated R thing that they shouldn't be able to do, ha ha. Isn't that funny how movies don't usually do that? But actually the jokes are often very funny because of how many they throw at you. So even if one or two don't work, there are three or four that do, and they come at such a high rate that you don't even have time to process a certain joke before the next one's already there. So I love fast-paced comedies like that because they don't give you a break, and they don't let too many unfunny jokes just sink in. So even if the writing isn't particularly amazing, it goes so quickly that you don't really care. That's not to say that there aren't legitimately hilarious moments. There are many throughout the film, and a lot of the jokes work because these child actors do an amazing job in their roles. They sell these jokes well. They weren't even allowed to see their own trailer, but I do believe that if they do continue this kind of acting in the future, they could be rising stars. I'm not joking. The directing is done by a first-time director, and I think he did a really solid job, and for a budget that's only $20 million, it certainly was used well. The soundtrack has a lot of R-rated hip-hop tunes that add to the absurdity of a lot of the humor, and it also helps with a couple of punchlines. But a lot of this humor is going to depend on how much you can handle certain things like underage drinking, underage swearing, and underage, discussions about drugs, which there are several bits of. But the message of the film is actually very strong, and not in spite, but because of those elements. Messages of your friends growing further apart, messages like not pretending to be someone that you aren't, and messages of staying true to yourself. Those are really good messages to teach for anyone of any age, in my eyes. And a lot of it does feel like, despite all the profane absurdity, these kids feel like actual kids. So you can actually identify with them, and you can follow them very well. Very much like Sarazanmai, if you've ever seen it. Despite how crazy the story is, it still stays true to its emotional connections that make for a heartwarming story. That's why I'm going to give Good Boys an 8.5 out of 10. You definitely should watch it if you're a Seth Rogen fan, or if you're a fan of R-rated comedies in general. See you next time.